Hi, this is David McCann for WebTNG. In this video, I'm looking at Microbite Image Converter. This is an image optimization plugin for WordPress. It works a little bit differently than some other optimization plugins. I'm liking it. It looks like it's going to work out nicely for me, and I wanted to share it with you so you could see if it's something that might be useful for you. I'm here on the website for the plugin. We are going to look at the features in our walkthrough. So I'll just show you a couple of things. This is an FAQ system. I'm going to be working on a test site on localhost, but you definitely want to have a backup before you get started. And it has some common questions like, what's the best image format for today? And what are the recommended settings, and so on. Then if we look at the pricing, it's $99 for a 100 site lifetime license, which is a pretty nice price. There's a 500 site yearly or 500 site lifetime license if you need the plugin for more sites. And if we scroll down here, if you sign up for the newsletter, you get a coupon for 10% off, so be even less than $99. Then this is the test site that I'm working with, and I've got a pretty big media library here. I want to see if I can use Microbite Image Converter to shrink that down. You can see I recently wrote an article about image sizes and the media library, because this is a topic that I'm working on as part of my maintenance. Over the years, the media library has grown very large, so I want to address that. There's information in this article about different image formats, but basically I'm going to be testing out moving to WebP image formats. Up to now I've used JPEG and PNG images. If we go to the dashboard, I've got the plugin installed and activated, and I added the license here. And this first panel here is kind of dashboard summary. This gives you server information. It's saying that I could add more memory available for the process and that I could up the execution time. But I think I'm fine on localhost. I'm not worried about how long it's going to take or anything. It works with the GD image library or ImageMagick, and I'm going to be moving to WebP. Both of these support that. And you have your choice of WebP or AVIF, ImageMagick, or GD library. Then here's the WebP quality. It's recommended between 60 and 80. So it's on 80. I guess I'll try moving it to 70. And resize current images. These are the kind of recommended for most sizes. I'll go with those for now for the video. You can enable lossless conversion if you want to. And if you do that, then you can convert PNG images losslessly. I think that's supposed to be slightly better image quality. There's a warning here, though, that JPEGs, if you convert them losslessly, then the file size can be even larger than the original. So we'll skip that, and we're not using HEIC. And this is a good one to create a backup of the original images. We'll see where it puts those. And then this is a nice feature of the plugin to remove its tables if you decide you want to remove the plugin. I wish more plugins would do that. So I'm going to save. We'll go to advanced settings. And you can remove the EXIF info. Choose the compression method, alpha channel quality, preserve RGB and transparency. All right. Then upload settings. I'm going to be in the video doing bulk conversion, but you can create settings for new images that are uploaded, and if you have the plugin installed, then it will optimize those and convert them on upload. And here's the bulk conversion screen. We'll come back to that. Here's a bulk restoration screen, which if you've checked, as we have to keep the original images, then you have the option, you can restore those if you decide that you don't like WebP, or maybe you want to go to AVIF or something. There's bulk deletion. So if after you've done your conversion you decide, hey, I don't want to keep the original images, this process deletes those images that are in the storage folder, and it also removes the records from the database. Now, you can go ahead and just archive off the images off your server, a folder, I'll show you which one in a few minutes, without deleting here. So your disk usage will go down, but if you don't run the deletion, then it keeps the records in the database, and that way you can restore those if you want to. Then this is Database Table Finder. Maybe you have custom tables for a custom post type or something, has image information. This will scan through your tables for ones that have image information in them. This is a database search and replace. As part of the process, after we do the conversion, we're going to come here, we're going to do a database search and replace to replace the links that have JPEG or PNG with ones that have the WebP. And that's one of the differences between this plugin and others, and that is that you can actually totally replace the images. Often some of the optimization plugins actually create more image sizes, so the disk space goes up, or maybe they store images on a CDN or something. Then 301 redirects. This would be maybe you're an artist or photographer or something, and you've got attachment pages that have SEO juice. Then you could set up 301 redirects. You can reset to defaults, and you can enter your license. Okay, so I'm going to come here to bulk conversion, and we'll unclick these. So there are 5,893 images that can be converted. Wow, it's a lot. I guess I'll double the batch size and maybe set this up to, say, 40 seconds. I don't think it'll take that long, but we'll do that. And then I'm going to click here to start the conversion. Let me write down the time, and then I'll tell you how long it took. I'll pause the video so that we're not just sitting here for a long time while it's running through the conversions. So here we go. Okay, so that took about 27 minutes. We see that it processed 5,753 images. It skipped 140. I'm guessing maybe those would have turned out larger if they had been converted. Now we go to the bulk search and replace. Okay, and this is going to replace the links in the posts and pages in these two tables, the post meta and the post table. So we'll see how long that takes. I've noted the time. Okay, and the bulk search and replace completed, and that took 4 minutes. All right, let's go to the front end and let's inspect. And let's see what we have here. Yep, a WebP image, so that's great. Let's go back to the dashboard and look at this dashboard here. It's saying that we saved about 446 megabytes in the process. So that's a huge amount of disk space saved. through this process. That was the original size of the images and after the conversion process. So let's see. Here is the folder that was created. Okay, and you see it has the same structure here as if we go to the uploads, right? Those are now WebP, and the JPEGs have been copied off here. Okay, so we could, if we wanted to, go ahead and move the original images off. I could bring them down to my local computer, for example, to store them until I'm sure that I don't need them anymore. So now for some discussion where I want to compare this process with how it works with standard image optimization plugins, so you can see the difference and figure out if this is something that would be useful for you. A number of years ago, image optimization plugins started to gain popularity. At first, they focused on shrinking down the file size so that pages loaded faster, but they didn't change the file type. Then optimization plugins were developed that gave the option to create WebP images, and the plugins would handle serving WebP to browsers that supported it and old image formats to browsers that didn't support WebP. Some of these optimization plugins created extra images in your media library for this, so you'd end up with both old and new formats. Or some of these plugins stored the WebP images on a CDN instead. And there are also plugins that move the media library totally off-site as a solution to growing disk space requirements. However, today the weight has shifted so that WebP has broad support. I'm sure there's still apps that don't support WebP, but every day the number is growing smaller. So the question I ask myself is, do I still need to keep both old and new format options? There are lots of plugins that will convert images to WebP, but very few that allow you to replace JPEGs and PNGs with WebP both on disk and in the post and page content. In fact, I was advised not to even try to shift to using WebP only because I was told the database updates were too tricky. So I was pleased to see that the Microbite plugin has the bulk options that can allow sites to modernize. The pricing for a Microbite Image Converter is attractive. I found the developer is responsive to questions, and I didn't have issues using the plugin. If you're in a situation like me, where the media library has grown too large, then Microbite looks to be a good option. With this plugin, you can modernize and save disk space. So this has been my look at Microbite Image Converter. I hope you found the video useful and interesting. If you did, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching.